It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the South region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors South.
Oh, hey everybody. We're out here with Captain Tim Young on Trinity Bay. He's one of the best guides in the whole state of Texas, but especially on this bay system right here, just out of the Houston-Galveston area. Hey, can you take an old grizzled veteran bass fisherman like me that used to fish tournaments and teach him actually how to catch a few fish, or am I pretty much hopeless?
You might be hopeless.
Don't tell me that.
Might be. You know, like the first thing we got to do is get you away from the dock. No pitching, no flipping. We're going to be in some deeper water, some structure, deeper water reefs, well pads.
We've had this Mako 21 LTS for this season, and you folks have seen it on our show if you've watched our show at all. And we've been all over the whole southeast and southwestern part of the region fishing for all species of fish, but I've always had a captain, a guide on the boat with me. So today is going to be my solo maiden voyage out here by myself. Now Cap's going to be here around the marina, and if I get in trouble, he's going to be around for me to make a phone call to. But you're going to, the plan is you're going to show me some general areas, kind of what the pattern is for speckled trout, and then let me have a shot at it on my own and just see if I can do anything with it. What is the pattern right now?
General pattern is a deep water pattern, and deep water for us is going to be 8 to 10 feet of water.
That's deep.
And that's deep. That is deep. And we'll be fishing shell, mostly oyster shell, some clam shell. The well pads, most every well pad has shell around it as a base. Some of these fish are holding off the shell on the edges of it too. So don't just have to be on top of it, you got to fish the edges as well. So a bass guy like you, working edges, structure, you might be able to snag one or two.
Hey, while we're out doing that today, we're going to be taking you around the region for your latest fishing reports from our team of insider reporters. Your local lakes, rivers, and bays, and see how the fishing is in your neck of the woods. Going to have a lot of fun today in the Trinity Bay system fishing for speckled trout under the supervision of Captain Tim Young, and we'll give you all his information if you'd like to book a guide trip a little later. Right now, let's get this started. Back at the FSN studios, here's your weekend planner.
The Salooner tables are indicating excellent conditions for game fish activity on Saturday over the holiday weekend. Peak times will start a few hours before sunrise and again at 4:39 in the afternoon. The sun will rise at 7:10 and set at 5:21. And evenings will be lit by a moon that is 65% visible. Stay with us, all of your fishing updates from around the region are on the way. And I'll return with professional angler Keith Combs to answer your Ask the Pro questions. Stay with us.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. By Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. By Motor Guide, trolling motors engineered for anglers. And by Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Welcome to the big leagues.
Got one. Oh, that's a trout. That's a decent trout. Oh, got him, got him. Hey, welcome back everybody. Fox Sports Outdoors. And we've made it out onto Trinity Bay. There is a spotted sea trout is the biological name for them. Caught him on a little swim bait on a lead head right there. Right in the top of the mouth. All right, that's a good start. And as you can see, that's just a good solid trout, about 20 inches long, something like that. And got some wind, as we said. Out here by ourselves, Captain Tim Young kind of pointed a couple of spots to us on his GPS, and we marked those. Came out here and found one. I'll tell you what we got going. I'm not keeping trout today, so I'm gonna put these fish back. Look right here behind me. When they built these wells, they came out, dredged up a whole bunch of oyster shells, and they laid a big pad of those on the floor of the bay here. And these trout are attracted to it because it's the only thing different. As they're swimming around, it's just a sand and mud bottom out here. And when there's those shells, it's actually an artificial reef, little bait fish of all kinds are attracted to these pads. Sometimes the fish will actually get up on the well itself. Be sure and use your electronics if you've got good electronics like my Lowrance HDS. Scan that bottom and look for these oyster shells, these reefs, A lot of times that's where the fish will be hanging out. All right, we've got a good start. Let's get you started right now with some fishing and lake reports. Let's go to the states of Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia with Jimmy Jacobs in freshwater, followed by Bob McNally, saltwater report along the coastline.
The Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi Freshwater Fishing Update is presented by the Alabama Gulf Coast Convention and Visitors Bureau. Come enjoy our beaches, fishing, golf, water sports, and more. Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, it's a whole different state. Check us out at www.gulfshores.com. The Thanksgiving season is a time to be counting our blessings. If you're an angler in the Deep South, those are many and varied. Right now, the weather pattern is giving us 50 to 60 degree temperatures during the day, dropping into the 30s at night, and these conditions keep the fish active. In Mississippi, the crappie are biting on oxbow lakes along the Mississippi River. Water levels are stable and water conditions are clear, so trolling in open water is a good tactic. Lake Chottard or Lake Albemarle near Vicksburg are places to try this. You can also fish along the levee at nearby Eagle Lake. Lake Washington, which is 30 miles north near Glen Allen, is another spot to try, but up there you can even fish shallower. In northeast Georgia, the brown trout are chasing blueback herring on 2,775-acre Lake Burton. The southern part of the reservoir is a place to be. You want to look for 30 feet of water over main lake points or open water humps. Now, the cooler weather also has a spotted bass biting aggressively on Lake Martin just north of Montgomery, Alabama. In the morning, you want to throw pop-R lures to the seawalls. Later in the day, switch off to a shaky head rig and drop it down into brush piles in 15 to 20 feet of water. The best color for this is oxblood.
This part of the program is brought to you by MirrOlure, the right tools to catch them. From topwater plugs to subsurface models to deep running lures like the deadly Heavy Dean. Turn on the bite anytime. Turn on a MirrOlure. Well, late fall weather is a real yo-yo time to be out on the water. It's cold one day and hot the next, and the fishing can be great one day and it may be good, but you can't get there because the weather's poor. So you got to really pick your days. But when you can get out on the water, Captain Kevin Olmsted over in Mobile tells me he's had some great sight fishing for redfish up in the marsh areas over near Bayou La Batterie. He's sight fishing using shrimp lures and gold spoons. Kevin is also catching some nice sea trout. That similar fishing is also going on in Mississippi, according to Danny Patillo at Glorin Flows out of Biloxi. They're also catching some nice white trout up to 2 pounds, which are big white trout, very good eating, around those artificial reefs in the lower Biloxi Bay area. The Katrina Reef also has been giving up some nice speckled trout, according to Danny. Some of those fish are going to 3 pounds. He says the offshore fishing for wahoo and king mackerel has been really good off Biloxi, but again, that weather can be real troublesome. Over on the Georgia coast, Captain Tim Cutting also is doing very well inshore. He's targeting trout and slot redfish. The trout are around oyster reefs during a low incoming tide. He's using popping corks and live shrimp. Fish them slowly. You don't want to spook those fish in shallow water. He's also catching plenty of redfish, slot reds, in the marsh areas using MirrOlure. His favorite MirrOlures are the 72 series, the 52 series, and the tiny trout series. Well, that's it for the coast. Pick your days, get out in the water, and take a youngster with you when you go.
Got one. Right by that well. Oh, that is a sheephead. All right, well, we haven't caught one of those, so we'll show him. There's what one looks like right there. They mix in with the trout, they'll mix in with redfish. All right, well, it's gonna take me a while to get this fish loose and keep from drifting into this well pad. That's a good thing about my XI5 trolling motor is I can sit here and do this without ever moving. All right, stay with us. We're gonna take a quick break for a word from our sponsors. Back for more Trinity Bay, hopefully speckled trout fishing right after this. Don't go anywhere. Got one. Good trout, good trout. Look at this one. Wow. Man, look at that big daddy. That's a Kong right there. Man, welcome back everybody. Fox Sports Outdoors. Speckled trout fishing on my own today, really for the very first time. Never done this before by myself. Got a little help from my friend, Tim Young. We're out here on Trinity Bay. And that is a swim bait, and that's a really nice speck right there. That fish is probably 24 inches, something in that class right there. Beautiful specimen, yellow mouth, and just ran up there and just chomped on that swim bait. What a great fish. Glad to have you along today. We're letting fish go back today, so let's bring him right over here and gently ease him back in the water. Let me grab him and let him, oh man, gone, just like that, made him mad. What I've learned is that you can't make a speckled trout bite most of the time. If he's not feeding, you're not gonna catch him. You've got to find actively feeding fish, and the way you do that is find slicks. Now, a slick is a little small patch of oil that's on the surface of the water. All the bait fish these trout are eating has a lot of oil in its system, and when they chomp down on it, that oil squirts out in the water and it floats to the top and it makes a slick, a little sheen on top of the water. You can see them with your naked eye. It's a lot better if you have your Costa sunglasses on where you can get some polarization going, but you can see these slicks, and I found one about 40, 50 yards off one of these well pads, made a good cast in it, worked it to the edge, and that fish slammed it. Really nice one, best one of the day so far. Let's go to Tennessee and Kentucky. Here's Crispin Powell.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's Tennessee and Kentucky Fishing Report, which is brought to you by Benton County, Tennessee and Benton County, Tennessee Tourism. With tons of public access, wonderful slow-paced way of life, and very, very friendly people, bring your family or come alone and enjoy what we consider to be sportsman's paradise, Benton County, Tennessee. Hey guys, this week is about change. My report, if I could summarize it with one word, it would be change. We have gone from fall to late fall to overnight it is winter. The Tennessee River, the water temperature has dropped 10 to 15 degrees in the last week. The fish are biting. It is just very much playing kind of chess with the fronts. However, if you can find a 2 or 3 day warming trend, these fish are biting shallow like you wouldn't believe. People think winter fishing, they think deep. Let me tell you something. The bass love to be shallow in this water temperature. And you get a couple days of warm weather and you get it up in that mid-50 mark and they just go to chomping. Dale Hollow, completely on fire. If you want to go catch the biggest smallmouth of your life, don't look any farther than Dale Hollow. Catch them really, really good on a spinnerbait and a crankbait right now. As far as Kentucky Lake goes, the New Johnsonville area is where it's at. Like I said, that shallow bite is really good on lipless crankbaits, shallow diving crankbaits, and you catch them right, I promise you, as crazy as you may think I am, the topwater bite can't be beat. About 3 days into a good warming trend, they'll start just destroying a topwater bait. The crappie are biting everywhere. All you've got to do is go and dip a Mr. Crappie piece of plastic in the water and you're going to catch them. Get out on the water and enjoy it before it gets too cold. We'd love to see you on the water in Tennessee and Kentucky. God bless.
Hey, here's one quick little tip I've learned today about how to work this bait and what attracts the most strikes. What I'm doing is taking this plastic shrimp imitation or plastic swim bait on a lead head, making a big long cast downwind to get the most length I can. I'm letting that bait go about halfway from the surface to the bottom, about halfway down, keeping my rod tip held high, and then starting a series of erratic twitches. Hop, hop, turn that reel handle. Hop, 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 keep this reel handle turning. I'm keeping it coming all the time. I never let it settle all the way to the floor of the lake. Keep the reel handle turning, a couple of hops, turn the handle, one hop, turn the handle, and just keep that going. And these fish seem to want to chase it down on the reel. So that's just one tip on what works today to attract the most strikes. Here's Tim Young's information if you'd like to book him for a guide trip here on Trinity Bay. He knows this entire system like the back of his hand. He's fished here for many, many years. He can put you on speckled trout. If anybody can, you can contact him at the phone number and the rest of the information you see there at the bottom of your screen. He's a good guy, good friend of the show. Book him for a guide trip if you'd like to come here. We'll be right back for more speckled trout fishing from the Texas Gulf Coast in just one moment.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. By Mercury Marine, celebrating 75 years of marine excellence. By Stren Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability. And by Tracker Boats. It's more than just a boat, it's a tracker.
One at the boat, to the straight down. Good one. Man, what a thrash. Oh, and he's pulling my rod down. You done? No, he's not done. All right. We're at Trinity Bay, catching some of those. That's a fat daddy right there. Beautiful yellow mouth. Look at those teeth. That's what he chomps that oil out of that bait fish with right there. What a great specimen. We're having a great time today catching them, and we're releasing them. Let's let him go back. All right, let's talk some more about what I've learned today about finding these speckled trout. I fished a lot of areas here in Trinity Bay. What I've found so far is the higher salinity, the higher salt content in the water, the more speckled trout. Now, this system's got a lot of creeks and ditches and rivers running in the upper end of it. They've had a lot of rain here and a lot of fresh water coming in. You don't want that for speckled trout. You want to run away from fresh water to the higher salt content, and it'll generally be pushed down the bay system. High salt content, high salinity. Second thing is clearer water. Here on the Texas Gulf Coast, we don't have really gin clear water, but we have brownish water and we have greenish water. You want to be looking for this greenish colored water. I don't know if you can really tell it or not in this video, but this is the good color of water. This is the greenish tint that you're looking for in this water. If you can only see 4 or 6 inches in the water, it's really too murky, too muddy, too brown. This green water right here, I can see anywhere from 1 foot to 2 feet down in the water, see my bait that deep, and that equals more speckled trout. Hey, let's get you some more fishing and lake reports. Let's check in right now with Captain Inglis Glover in North and South Carolina, fresh and saltwater.
Hey folks, it's time for your Carolinas report, this week brought to you by Marshall's Marine. Located in Lake City and Georgetown, South Carolina, we're your bass boat leader since 1969. For all your nitro and bass tracker needs and for family-friendly fun, visit www.marshallsmarine.com. We hope that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family and that your belly's full and you're ready to get out and do some fishing because the fishing is still hot. The trout continue to be a go-to species in the inshore saltwater areas between North and South Carolina, with some great big gator trout being caught on live and artificials right now. Again, I can't stress enough, the voodoo shrimp is a great bait to target those trout with. Work those areas where the schools are hanging out, work the bait slow, twitch it, and get ready for some of the best trout of the season. Also in the offshore side of things, we continue to see a lot of big wahoo coming to the scales, and Captain Dan Carey on Carry On brought a nice 84-pound wahoo to the scales just last week to the Merle's Inlet Outpost. In the freshwater side of things, the stripers continue with that topwater bite in the mornings and in the afternoon being incredible. Get out and target them early, late, and get ready for some big stripers this time of the year. I'm hearing again on Lake Hartwell that they are limiting out this time of the year on the top water, as well as trolling with some live bait down in that 15 to 20 foot range. Also, the crappie are on top of those piles, and guys are starting to limit out on those crappies on live and on artificial jigs. Get out and enjoy what the Carolinas have to offer this time of the year. This has been your Carolinas report brought to you by Marshall's Marine. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Costa Sunglasses. See what's out there. By Luz, setting a new standard in fishing performance. Feel the difference. By Strike King Lures, #1 in fishing. By Lowrance Electronics. Find, navigate, dominate.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro, where viewer questions get answered by professional anglers. This week, Steven asks, what is the one must-have bait? For the answer, we asked Texas Bass Classic champion Keith Combs.
When all else fails, the lure that I go to is a Strike King KVD 1.5 in Tennessee shad. I don't know what it is about that bait. It's one that I can cover a lot of water with. I can pick it up and just go down a riprap bank. I can go down a grass line. You know, I can catch them in a lot of different scenarios. But that is one bait that I can flat put them in the boat with, and it catches big ones. So KVD 1.5 Tennessee shad is my #1 go-to color.
Thanks, Keith. If you want some help from a professional angler, visit foxsportsoutdoors.com and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit your question. Now it's time for someone to win a new pair of sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
We've made it back to the Kemah Boardwalk at Kemah, Texas. As you can see right behind me, it's the Boardwalk Bullet Roller Coaster. It's time right now for this week's Coast to Catch of the Week winner, Mike Link of Pendleton, South Carolina, showing a 43-inch redfish he caught at the South Edisto River in South Carolina. If you'd like to enter our contest and have a chance to win a brand new pair of Costa sunglasses, just go to the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Follow the instructions to send us your big fish photo over 18 years of age, please. And if you'd like to see all of the Costa frame and lens styles, you can see those, the Costa website, by going back to our front page and clicking on the Costa logo. You can see all of the great Costas there, including the frame styles that I was wearing on this week's episode, called Double Haul in the camo pattern color. Next up, it's the Academy Sports and Outdoors Right Stuff feature, the right gear to come catch speckled trout, not only here at Trinity Bay, but up and down the entire Gulf Coast system. These baits will work. We had a lot of wind today, so we were using a little heavier painted jig head. That's a 3/8 ounce jig head with a heavy stainless steel hook and a little plastic swim bait body on that, about 3 inches long. And on the right side is the Voodoo Shrimp. It's a fantastic shrimp plastic imitation bait. Again, a little heavier weight to get it down in those big waves. Did a great job on this week's episode. Recently, I had something bad happen to me. And immediately I had to start going through all those emotional processes, the grieving process of denial and shock, fear, anger, and blaming someone. But ultimately I got through those emotions where I could think a little more clearly and began to look for the silver lining, something good to come out of a negative situation. I'll be honest with you, I haven't found it yet, but I believe that if I keep looking, I will. My faith tells me that. What I've learned, though, is it took a little maturity. I had to get a little age on me to learn to process through those emotions quicker. I did it in less than a day, and it's a lot better process. Begin to quickly learn to move through all of those negative emotions when something bad happens and get to that silver lining, looking for something good as fast as you possibly can. It makes life a lot easier. Hey, I hope you enjoyed our trip out to Trinity Bay today to catch those speckled trout. And again, if you'd like to book a trip here, you can do that with Captain Tim Young, the information you see on your screen. Hey, don't forget to join us for next week's episode. We'll be on Thursday at 6 p.m. with a repeat airing Sunday at 8 a.m. You can always catch the latest episode of our show in full HD right on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. And right below that, click on the More Episodes and Video Here box. You can see all of our past episodes, how-to videos, product videos, a lot of great stuff and videos in that area. Also, don't forget to see all the latest fishing news and photos and video on our Twitter feed, and you can also see lots of information on our Facebook page. Click the like button there. From the Kemah Boardwalk in Kemah, Texas, until next week, I'm Barry Stokes saying be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.